Hi, I'm PenPlays, and I'm here with a review of the LEGO DreamZzz Pegasus flying horse for Masters of Brickjitzu. A special thanks to LEGO and Land for providing this set to Masters of Brickjitzu, and to them for allowing me the privilege of reviewing this set for them. Oh, do I love a set that isn't massive that includes the lead villain, but does having 482 pieces at $50 USD still manage itself well? Well, let's take a look at the characters included first. Zoe is included in this set dressed in bandit-inspired gear, reflecting the fact that she's a time bandit. She has a brand new braided hairpiece and a double-sided head for additional expressions. I believe her feather-like cape is unique to her and contrasts her design well. She comes armed with her guitar string bow and an hourglass that is no different from the most common one included in these sets. Nova here is a girl caught in her own nightmares. She's all dressed in her pajamas and even sports a new face with multiple expressions, including a sleeping one. For the villains, we have Susan. This small thing has a head lit with purple flame and a face full of eyes, though seemingly having a sense of appearance as she's depicted wearing a dress. Not that her figure conveys that very well. Susan carries a fork with her, flying with translucent pink wings. Her wings are attached using a common neck attachment that's so heavy she can't stand up without a stud supporting her. I'm begging for LEGO to make this neck attachment in other colors, as it's more distracting here than it ever has been, especially with how obvious it is with a torso this small. Lastly, we have the Nightmare King, a corpse-like being clad in skeleton-inspired armor wrapped in rags. His cape is a rubber element, seemingly made of monsters, that pairs perfectly with his gothic crown. The wrappings continue on his alternate face expression. He has a sword with an eye at its center. These eyes seem to depict things that are living nightmares, as is the case with this cage monster that can fit Nova within its maw. It stands on its own and is kinda ridiculous, but that's what you'd hope from the whimsy of this theme. Now, I'm unsure if this is supposed to be Zoe's companion Cyan, as he's normally depicted as an owl-inspired griffin, but considering all the other characters' companions can take different forms, it would not shock me if this turned out to be the case. Especially since there is an option for an alternate build for them, but we'll get to that in a moment. Cyan has very limited posing, with feathers using these leaf elements new for 2023 to continue the design style Zoe is depicted with. These monkey tails are used perfectly to make a heart shape for Cyan's plumage. Two extra accessories are included here, a carrot to feed Cyan, and this minifig neck attachment which can be used for the alternate build. Following the color-coded instructions featuring introductions of the characters falling asleep to begin their gorgeously depicted adventures, you're eventually prompted with a choice of how you want to build Cyan, complete with page numbers to skip to since you can only build one at a time. The alternate build is this butterfly wing glider for Zoe, which does a fantastic job conveying that, and even has some parts in the back to complete the full look. It's simple, elegant, and leaves a good chunk of pieces behind if you want to rebuild Cyan. Thankfully, this build doesn't require you to remove the stickers for the eyes. The redundantly and Google search ready named Pegasus flying horse is the main build of the set, but it isn't actually a Pegasus. You see, the wings are actually attached to this throne-like nightmare creature, complete with the yellow eye we've seen on the rest. These wings are based on rather old LEGO pieces, if these aren't just complete remakes of them. The tendrils underneath here are just strong enough to hold up the throne and wings, depending on how you angle them, and make for a very ghastly ribcage-like design on the Pegasus when merged to the Dream Unicorn. Yes, a unicorn. It doesn't actually have wings, so it's not actually a Pegasus. Also, you could very easily lose them again, considering how loose the wing creature is attached to the horse. This is because the only comfortable place to grip the Pegasus is covered by some part of the winged throne beast, easily popping it right off its attachment point should you even touch it. A massive oversight for basically being the whole point of this set's existence. What's also quite unfortunate is that, despite it having a rather interesting multi-directional build, it's extremely stiff. The only posing is at the shoulders and hindquarters of the unicorn. Nothing else in its noodle legs proper, making any serious pose is a challenge. Although, you can manage to make it look in motion enough, even with the wings attached, especially with the posable portions of the tail, which, although it can also be lifted up and down, is not nearly as elegant looking as the rest of the shaping of the build. The front of the Pegasus has the most thought put into its shapes, and I actually really love how it turned out, especially the head, which thankfully has a standard amount of articulation. What we have here is a case where the visual look of it trumps all, because as a toy, it's really not all that fun to play with. It's best left there to sit and look pretty, which is nice, but for $50? That's the kicker here, folks, especially when it could have absolutely been half the size and functioned the same way. Yes, I'm here saying I'm glad it's not huge, only to come to the conclusion that, yep, it's still huge. None of the minifigs are exclusive either, so there really isn't a reason to get this set unless you're collecting them all. That's your decision to make though, and again, it is an affordable option for most of these characters too. Do you agree that this set could have been smaller? If you feel it needs it, what else would you add to the set to make it more exciting? You can let us know down in the comments, and while you're down there, you can like the video and subscribe. I'm Pen, this is Masters of Brickjitzu, and I'll see you next time.